The world is watching as the United States and China sit at the negotiating table. This is not just another trade discussion. This is a conversation about the very future of technology and global power. At the heart of this complex dialogue are two critical resources: rare earth elements and advanced artificial intelligence chips. These negotiations are incredibly important because they will decide who leads the next wave of innovation. The outcome will affect everything from the smartphone in your pocket to the national security of entire countries. The stakes are higher than ever, and every move is carefully calculated in this global chess match. Understanding this conflict requires looking at the bigger picture. We are witnessing a fundamental shift in the world order. For decades, the United States was the undisputed leader in technology. Now, China is rapidly catching up, and in some areas, even pulling ahead. This has created a fierce rivalry. The current talks are a direct result of this competition. Washington and Beijing are both trying to secure their own technological futures while limiting the progress of the other. It's a delicate dance of diplomacy and pressure, where one wrong step could disrupt the entire global economy and set the stage for a new kind of Cold War. The tension has been building for years. Former President Donald Trump's administration highlighted the trade imbalance and intellectual property concerns, setting a more confrontational tone. This approach has continued, albeit with different strategies. Leaders on both sides have made strong statements, reflecting the national pride and economic anxiety tied to this issue. The negotiations are not happening in a vacuum, they are shaped by years of growing mistrust. The world is now looking to see if these two giants can find common ground or if they will pull further apart, forcing other nations to choose a side in this escalating technological divide. This is more than a simple trade dispute over goods and services. It is a battle for the commanding heights of the 21st century economy. The country that controls the supply of essential tech components will have enormous influence over the direction of human progress. From green energy to advanced defense systems, the technologies of tomorrow depend on the resources being discussed today. That is why these negotiations are so tense and so critical. They are not just about today's profits, they are about shaping the world for generations to come, defining who will write the rules of the future. So, what are these materials at the center of the storm? Let's start with rare earth elements. Despite their name, they are not actually that rare in the Earth's crust. However, they are very difficult and expensive to mine and process into usable materials. China currently dominates this market, controlling over 80% of the global supply. These 17 metallic elements are the secret ingredients in modern technology. They are used to make powerful magnets for electric vehicle motors and wind turbines. They are also essential for creating the vibrant colors on your smartphone screen and for building sophisticated defense systems like fighter jets and missile guidance systems. On the other side of the equation, we have advanced AI chips. Think of these as the brains of modern technology. They are tiny, incredibly complex pieces of silicon that can perform trillions of calculations per second. These chips are what power artificial intelligence, enabling machines to learn, reason, and create in ways we once only dreamed of. They are crucial for developing self-driving cars, advanced medical diagnostic tools, and the next generation of supercomputers. The United States, along with its allies like Taiwan and South Korea, currently leads in the design and manufacturing of these high-end semiconductors, giving it a significant technological edge. The importance of these two resources cannot be overstated. Without a steady supply of rare earths, the transition to a green economy would slow to a crawl. The production of many consumer electronics, from laptops to headphones, would face major disruptions. Similarly, without access to the most powerful AI chips, a country would fall behind in the race to develop transformative technologies. This would impact not only its economic competitiveness, but also its national security capabilities. AI is expected to revolutionize warfare, intelligence gathering, and cybersecurity, making chip leadership a top priority for global powers. Essentially, we are talking about the foundational elements of our digital world. Rare earths are the physical building blocks, the essential matter that makes our hardware work. AI chips are the cognitive engines, the intelligence that brings that hardware to life. Both the United States and China understand that you cannot lead in the 21st century without mastering both the physical and digital realms of technology. This mutual dependency and mutual ambition are what make the current negotiations so fraught with tension. Each side holds a key that the other desperately needs to unlock its full potential. The core of the conflict lies in what experts call chokeholds. China's dominance over rare earth processing gives it a powerful lever. If it chose to restrict or cut off exports, it could severely damage industries in the United States and across the world. This is not just a theoretical threat. Beijing has hinted at using its rare earth advantage as a bargaining chip in the past. This creates a deep sense of vulnerability in Washington. American companies and defense contractors worry about their supply chains being disrupted, which could lead to production halts, job losses, and a weakened military readiness. In response, the United States has deployed its own powerful chokehold export controls on advanced semiconductors. The US government has implemented strict rules to prevent China from acquiring the most sophisticated AI chips and the equipment needed to make them. The logic is simple: slow down China's progress in artificial intelligence, which Washington sees as a potential threat to its national security. This move has hit Chinese tech companies hard, forcing them to find alternatives and invest heavily in developing their own domestic chip industry. It is a strategic checkmate attempt in the global tech game. This back and forth has created a climate of fear and uncertainty for global corporations. Companies like Apple, Tesla, and countless others rely on complex international supply chains. They need rare earths from China and chips designed in the United States. The escalating tech war forces them to rethink their entire business model. Do they move their manufacturing out of China? Can they find alternative sources for rare earths? These are billion-dollar questions with no easy answers. The fear of being caught in the crossfire is very real, and it is pushing companies to diversify their operations, a costly and time-consuming process. The situation is further complicated by public statements from influential figures. Former White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett once noted that rare earths are a critical vulnerability for the US military. Meanwhile, Chinese officials have publicly stated that their resources will not be used against China's own development. These comments amplify the sense of a zero-sum game, where one side's gain is the other's loss. It transforms a trade negotiation into a battle of national wills, making compromise much more difficult to achieve and raising the stakes for everyone involved in the global economy. So where do we go from here? There are several possible outcomes, each with profound implications for the world. One possibility is a new kind of détente, where both sides agree to a set of rules for technological competition. This might involve the US easing some chip restrictions in exchange for guaranteed access to China's rare earths. Such an agreement would bring stability to global markets and allow technology to continue developing along a globalized path. However, given the deep level of mistrust, this optimistic outcome seems challenging to achieve in the current political climate. A more likely and more worrying scenario is the continued decoupling of the two economies. In this future, the world splits into two distinct technological spheres, one aligned with the United States and one with China. Nations and companies would be forced to choose sides. This would create what many call a digital iron curtain. Supply chains would be reconfigured, technology standards would diverge, and innovation could slow down as collaboration is replaced by competition. This path carries significant risks, including higher costs for consumers, reduced efficiency, and an increased chance of direct conflict. The ripple effects of these negotiations will be felt far beyond Washington and Beijing. Developing nations that rely on technology from both countries could find themselves in a difficult position. Allies of the United States, like Europe and Japan, are also caught in the middle. They share some of America's concerns about China, but their economies are also deeply intertwined with the Chinese market. The pressure to align with one side over the other could create fractures in long-standing alliances and reshape the geopolitical landscape for decades to come, creating a more fragmented and unpredictable world. Ultimately, these talks are more than a contest over minerals and microchips. They are a defining moment for the future of globalization. The decisions made today will determine whether we move toward a world of shared technological progress or one of strategic rivalry and division. The path forward requires careful diplomacy and a recognition that in our interconnected world, a total victory for one side is nearly impossible without inflicting serious damage on itself and the entire global system. The world holds its breath, hoping that wisdom and foresight will prevail over short-term strategic gains.